Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a beautiful day. Well, good morning, America, fellow citizens and patriots. It's good to be with you again on another, well, yeah, it's a fine morning. You'll notice things are changing. It's autumn here. Every time the breeze rustles the tree, you're going to see a leaf shower. I think it's kind of neat. The cotton's ready in the fields. The leaves are gone. The bowls are bursting open, white, pure, and ready for market. It's been a long summer. And we're in for changes otherwise, too. We got storms coming today, so I'm trying to get this done before I have some other work to do. You can't see it probably behind me, but just about 500 yards out there, the fog has made the rest of the world disappear. I know it's still there, but it's gone to the eye. Between storms and changing seasons, it can be what the Chinese called interesting times. Hope you got a cup of coffee. We're living in interesting times, aren't we? Things are changing rapidly, now openly. The Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Tampa, Occupy Oklahoma City, Occupy all these people that don't know how to occupy their time, and so they're doing this. It started out with the children of hippies living out their fathers' and mothers' fantasies of being hippies again. Free love, free drugs, free load. But you notice it's changing. Just yesterday, there was a speaker at, I don't remember which Occupy it was. You can go on the Drudge Report or any of the others and find it. But this speaker called for violence. Surprise, surprise. No, not really. He said something along the lines of this. Gandhi is, with all due respect, he said, Gandhi is today a tumor. The French Revolution, he touted, brought real change. Yeah, it did. Robespierre and his crew brought a lot of change. I wonder if this young man or woman, I don't remember which it was, I wonder if he's read his history at all and understands and realizes that, number one, hundreds of thousands of innocents died at the guillotine and mob violence otherwise, and those who fomented that violence, karma's a bitch. Find out what happened to Robespierre. But with all of this other stuff where Nancy Pelosi is saying that God bless them, God bless these people, talking about the occupiers, even as she shed those tears last year about how violent the rhetoric was at Tea Party situations. I look at all of this, along with Al Sharpton and the other cur dogs out there, and I don't say this lightly, and I don't say it flippantly, and you bet your bippy I'd say it to their face. People who work that hard at dividing America, that work that hard at finding a problem, and then have no solution except kill the other side. I have nothing for them except cur dog talk. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about this morning is a Christmas story. I know, sounds a little crazy, but as wonderful as the entire movie is, and my wife and I, we go over the lines. I don't know if any of you ever do this or not, but we have several movies that they have such memorable lines that we just, we memorize them instantly, and then we use them in our conversation from time to time to kind of break the mood, the tension, or whatever. In this movie, you remember the part where Flick has come out, they're on their way to school, and Flick said, "Oh, your old man's full of baloney. Your tongue won't stick to a flagpole in the winter." Well, of course, Schwartz, defending his father and his honor, says, "All right, smartass, go ahead and do it." Flick does it. And there's a part right there, while the rest of it's memorable and funny, there's a part when all the kids, the tongue's stuck. I mean, it's literally stuck. There's no way that kid could have faked that. And when the realization hits Flick, and he goes, "Stuck? Stuck? Stuck? Stuck!" And then all the kids begin to realize, hey, this really works. Schwartz puts it this way, "Geez, it really works." The shock, the surprise of all of them. And then something happens. The bell rang. And in the midst of this shock, this wonder, this surprise, this, what are we going to do? This can't be good. The bell rings. And every one of those little Pavlovian dogs, except Flick, who's stuck to the pole, starts heading for the school building. Now, I'll grant you a couple of things as we get started here. One, Flick brought that on himself. And we in America have brought a lot of this on ourselves. Yes, myself and other patriots as well. How, you say? Well, some of it is ignorance brought on by apathy. We were so used to being a free country. We were so used to being a liberty-filled republic, although those liberties have been choked down more and more over the last 100 years. But our areas weren't choked yet. And yes, I'm hearing the little voices in the back of World War II. First they came for the Methodists, and I didn't say anything because I wasn't a Methodist. And then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't say anything because I wasn't a Catholic, or whoever it is. And then they came for the Jews, and I didn't say anything because I wasn't a Jew. And finally, they came for me. And no one spoke, for there was no one left. And we've been doing a little bit of that. But it's not a time to just wring our hands, fold our knees, and take it. It's a time to realize. It's a time to acknowledge. It's a time to repent of things that we need to repent of. Oh, he's going churchy on us. No, I'm talking truth. Repent simply means stop going the direction you're going. If it's not good, turn around and go another direction. And that's what we've got to do. I've had to do it. And I do it now cheerfully, joyfully, and purposely. Turn around. Are you being apathetic? Turn around. Are you ignorant of what our founding documents have to say and our founding fathers and why they did what they did? Turn around. Do your research before they turn the internet off. Flick's there at the flagpole. He can't go anywhere. Everybody's turning around to go. And his two best friends in the world, Ralphie and Schwartz. Of course, with friends like that, sometimes you don't need enemies, huh? But we all take our turn at that. Ralphie's on his way. He stops. Schwartz is standing there. I guess he feels a little bit guilty about where Flick's at. And he looks at him like, well, what are you going to do? And Ralphie goes, the bell rang. And Schwartz goes, yeah, but what are we going to do? And Ralphie gives one more attempt at letting him know, I don't know, but the bell rang. He turns around and runs off. Schwartz looks at Flick again, shrugs his shoulders, and then takes off for the building. And you say, what's this got to do with anything? Well, in 1775, it had a lot to do with everything. Went out. I mentioned Pavlovian dogs. That's exactly what our children have become, and to some degree, that's what we become, because it began back when I was in school, back in the 60s. It is the training up of a generation of people to respond to a stimulus. And they're ringing the bell. They're ringing the bell with new legislation. They're ringing the bell with new laws. They're ringing the bell with threats. They're ringing the bell with enticements and incitements and other inducements. They're ringing the bell saying, don't you dare do what we both know you ought to do. Don't you dare make a stand. March a little bit, and we'll gripe about it a lot because you terrify us even when you get up out of your chairs. But don't you dare do anything to stop or stem the tide of what we're doing as we work diligently to steamroll over you, your children, your lifestyle, your way of doing things. Don't you dare. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. In 1775, on an April night, thank God, Paul Revere and those that rode with him, and yes, he wasn't the only one. You can do your research and find out. But when Paul Revere and his friends made the ride that night to let everybody know, the British are coming, the British are coming. Thank God, they were more focused on the light than they were on the bell. One if by land, two if by sea. You say, what do you mean, the bell? Oh, the British were ringing it. They rang the bell with new tariffs. They rang the bell with new taxes. They rang the bell with new legislation. They rang the bell with increased military presence among them. Don't you dare make a stand. Don't you dare go beyond griping and complaining. Thank God. Thank God, our founding fathers, from the base to the wisest of them all, focused on the light and not on the bell. Liberty, not fought for, is slavery earned. I'll say it again. Liberty, not fought for, is slavery earned. Change is coming. Storms will be here in about an hour and a half. When do you think they're going to hit the country? And what are you going to do? Are you going to respond to the bell? Are you going to be a Pavlovian dog that, well, I know this isn't right. I know they're probably going to tear us up. And yeah, my sinking gut feeling is this is Germany 1935 all over again. But the bell rang. Or are you going to focus on the light? Are you calling for armed insurrection? No. No, sir, I'm not. But I'm telling you this much. In 1775, throughout the rest of the years that it took through 1782, our forefathers were not the first to pick up arms. But by God and by God's grace, they were the last ones to stand. Focus on the light, not the bell. I'm C.M. Sackett, and that's how I see it.